I want to talk about using ITIL v4 for your organization because I know you probably want it. It's commonly accepted to be the industry best practice for ITSM operations. But you might run into two problems. You might either not really know a lot about it in terms of how it works, um, or you might know a lot about it and know that it's not quite as straightforward as it would seem to be in terms of applying. Because the way it's designed is it's sort of a lowest common denominator approach to IT. It's how can we design an overall approach that could apply to anybody. So we need to find a way to take that and tailor it to our specific organization. And the best way to do that is to treat it not as a Bible, but as a paint by numbers. This is a suggestion of how to run things that can be changed. So maybe we like the shades of color that it's painting across over here, but then over here, we know that for us, we like to do things a little bit differently because of the dynamics of our operation. So let me pump the brakes really quickly and very briefly explain how ITIL works, just in case you don't actually know a ton about it. So ITIL essentially is this one big system that is then comprised of little systems. The big system is called the service value system. And all this is about is taking the input from the customer, what the customer needs or wants, running it through our IT operations, and then creating the best possible output for the customer. That's essentially what's going on. But within the service value system, we have five components. Okay. We have governance, which is telling us what protocols we want to follow, how we're going to ensure that we follow them, and how do we improve those protocols over time. We have guiding principles, which is sort of a 10 commandments, although there's seven in total, of just general ideas how we want to operate. There's things like start where you are, which says, take what you have already and work with that to make it better so you don't get rid of stuff that could have been good. Things like progress iteratively with feedback so you don't create one big thing and it turns out it's not good. You make it slowly over time so you can change it and tweak it. That's guiding principles. Then you have practices. Practices are kind of the more familiar IT functions. These are things like change management, configuration management, knowledge management, service delivery management. Sort of gets into the nitty gritty of how to do these individual IT functions. There's 34 of them in total. And then finally, we have continual improvement. And this is how Axelos, who created ITIL, advises that you self-generate optimization over time. And then running through those four is the fifth thing, which is the service value chain. And that specifically addresses how to take the input from the customer and generate the output for them on a case by case basis. And it breaks up all of the activities in there into different functions. So we get the request from the customer, we engage with them, and then we plan what we're going to do, and we're going to build the thing for them, and we're going to obtain whatever we need to build the thing, and we're going to also design the thing we're going to build for them. We're going to improve on it over time. And eventually, after we bounce around those activities enough times, we actually have the thing for the customer, which is amazing, and then we deliver it to them. And that's the service value chain is like, on that request by request basis, what are we doing to make that happen for the customer? So that in its entirety is ITIL in a nutshell. So that sounds pretty good. Why don't we just do that? Well, the problem is that if you read all the ITIL documents and you get into what they are offering, you find out that they're not giving you a lot of specifics about what to do. These are very general ideas and concepts about maybe try it this way. So it's not a recipe. that can be followed. It's like a guideline or a suggestion. So what we need to do then is take that framework and harvest it for all of its best ideas. And then we can create our own specific SOPs and KBAs and all those kinds of things to make our organization run smoothly. And it also depends on what kind of IT operation we are running. So if we're running a service desk, that means we're going to draw things from ITIL differently than if we were running a NOSC or a SOC or tier 3 engineering operation. If we're running an ISP, all these things will change the way that we interface with ITIL. So this is why we need to use ITIL in the right way. A lot of people want to say, please give me ITIL, or let's just do ITIL. And they don't realize that that's just the first step in creating a great IT operation. So take what ITIL has to offer, apply it to your organization, and then create a great methodology, and you'll be in great shape. And that's how you should use ITIL.